Hello, Andy. This is Colin. I won't be able to get in tonight. I'm sweating like a pig.
Still David, still One Up Gaming, still episode 351 of the One Up Gaming podcast. So, first of all, the first game we played this week was War Mongrels. Now, this reminds me of the... was it Commandos HD remake that I played recently? Very strategy, thinky man, hard as nails, top down, really gorgeous graphics, and you sort of like select where you want them to go, what you want them to do, and it's a really good, hard as nails game. This reminded me so much of that, but it just looked amazing, absolutely gorgeous. But I don't know why they make so much of a deal of it. It's, you have to press L1, then L2, then hold back the left button to bring up a wheel, then you have to select which one you want, then you want to select whatever that one goes to, then you want to press other buttons to get that one to move, and then you want to select your man, and then tell him where to move. I was completely and utterly lost. I was completely gone. I had no idea what the flip I was doing, and it's balls hard, rock hard. I could not do it. But if you like a good strategy game, if you like something really hard, then I would recommend this. It's an amazing looking game. It plays well. I just could not work it out how to play the game. It was too complicated for me. Back to my retro roots, and we were playing Duke Nukem Manhattan Project. This one, it's like a 2D side-scrolly platform game. 3D graphics, so it's like a 3.5D game. Think of Pandemonium, that sort of thing. And crude humour, crude jokes. Not the best looking. It played okay. And I just think Duke Nukem as a game franchise has worn its well past its best. And unfortunately, yeah, the jumping weren't great, a bit floaty, weren't solid, things like that. You know, if you're playing these sort of games, you need it to be a bit more snappy, a bit more like Mario, where you know what you're doing, you know the jump circle, you know the jump arc. Duke Nukem Manhattan Project, it just didn't seem as good as like the proper 2D platformer games. It's those like, do you know like when they did the Sonic 4, which was like a 3D engine but built on a 2D plane? Everything felt a little bit more floaty, a little bit more, just not quite as tight. And that's the case here.
I hate pigs.
So next up we have Horizon Chase 2. Now this one's a weird one because when I played this, I mean, it looked a little bit nicer, but if I was to give Horizon Chase and Horizon Chase 2, I'd be very hard pushed to be able to tell you which one was which. Now don't get me wrong, the Horizon Chase series is an amazing old school arcade style game built on a 3D engine that plays like the old Outrun sort of games. More of a circuit based game. You have to collect icons, you have to collect fuel, you have to collect turbo, that sort of thing, and you go through each world. I think it's like 3 levels per world, you've got to go through them all, and it looks gorgeous, it looks absolutely stunning. I played it on my iPhone, I think, or was it my iPad? I don't even have an iPad, I don't know why I said that. My iPhone or my MacBook, it was one of the two. But Horizon Chase 2, amazing little game, I loved it. Next up, Rush Rally Origins. Now this one was okay, but very simple. I know it was like a budget game for a couple of quid, and actually I say a couple of quid, I think it's like 15. But it looked like something that came out with the old mobile games from 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know what engine it uses, but it looked like the Unity engine, which is very basic, very simple, physics are not the best. And yeah, it was a fun little game. It was a fun game, but I wouldn't recommend it. Hopefully you'll see the trailer and you'll think, yeah, it looks alright, and I'll give it a go. If not, yeah, what are you going to do? Next up, House Builder. Now this one, it's like all these other sort of games where you have to, like, open world, do things like the house cleaner thing, the spray, the power wash simulator, that sort of thing, PC simulator, you know, that sort of game. They're all a bit janky and a bit weird, not the best graphics, but they play quite fun and they're quite addictive. This one, I loaded up the first level. I was doing a virtual Teams meeting at work, which, if anyone's at work's watching this, I wasn't really. But I was like in the meeting and I didn't quite read the intro instructions to the game, and as I was playing it, it was like I had like half an hour of just walking around in the freezing cold, not knowing how to pick up little tiny bricks of ice to make like an igloo, and I ended up just freezing to death, and I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So maybe I'll play it again, maybe I'll read the instructions, maybe I'll watch the intro, who knows. But the video that we got up on our YouTube channel, I apologise, I was atrocious. No idea what I was doing, no idea what was happening, and we just played it ear to ear and I died. Next up, Them's Fighting Herds. Now, I love weird and wonderful games, like proper random weird games. This one was probably one of the most random games I've ever seen. Now, I can't remember if I bought it or if it was on like the Xbox Arcade or if it was on the PlayStation for free or whatever it was, but it's cartoonified animals, gorgeous looking artwork. It said it was some famous artist's drawings, but I didn't know who they were. I don't know comics, I don't know books, I don't know anything like that. I don't know if it was just like an artist who drew things. But it looked amazing. It's a 2D one-on-one fighting game like Street Fighter 2. And it played really well. It looked and animated amazing. It was just the fact that it's weird animals fighting each other, and it's just like, what the hell is going on? This is the most random, strange thing I've ever seen. It's a good game. It's just, with it being animals and fighting, it's just, can you recommend it for it being so random? But I loved it. I thought it was a really good little game. And the last game that I played this week was Rock'n Racing Rally. Now, if anyone's ever played any of the Rock'n Racing series, there was the... I'm going to get any of the names wrong, I do apologise. But there was like the Formula 1 game, there was the off-roady sort of game, and they were proper old school, top-down, fixed track, and you controlled your little tiny sprite of a car to go round the circuit. And for what they were fun little games. I think it was only about £10-15 to buy, and it's cheap as chips, good little game. This one, again, is only about 10-15 quid, but they've actually gone to a full 3D engine and a full behind the car view sort of thing. Again, I don't think it was as good as Rush Rally Origins. I think it was a bit more basic, a bit more simple, a bit more cheap, a bit just budget. You know, that the making of the game was just really budgetified. I don't know. It's not great, but I guess they needed to move away from the top-down simple view just to try and make something a little bit different from the series, from the franchise. For that, I commend them. Yeah, because I just think that the game itself, it's okay. They've got the fun factor there. It's just so basic and bare bones, and yeah, I just think for the money you could do better. So that's the games that we've been playing this week. We have our Gran Turismo 7 series Might have some Ridge Racer stuff out this week. We have our Boosteroid. There we go. We have our Boosteroid series out this week. So yeah, let us know what you think. And that is the OUG Games Podcast, episode 351 of the games being played this week. Quick break, and we'll come back with this week's news.